And we're up. Uh, let's put some 394 crankcases together today, huh? Yeah, that'd be cool. Of course, it'd be cool. Might as well clean up a little bit. I got lots of stuff going here. Too much going. Too much. I've done quite a bit of prep to these just to get them more or less ready to go for tonight. Let's bring you up here. Okay, James is here. Good. Let me go. Hang on, I gotta go check the laundry. Hang on a second. Sorry about that, everybody. How many people here? 8 people. Holy cow. Mo Bob made it. All right, who we got here? James, Dave Shively, Mo Bob, Brandon Viles made it. William Prophet, good. Okay. So I've actually done quite a bit of prep already on these cases just because I wanted them fairly solid. I ended up doing a repair over here, a thread repair. But I shined all this up, so we should be able to get, once we get this all shiny, we should be able to get some bearings in there. Of course, I gotta find bearings. I think I've got 2 more. And I ordered another pack of 10 last night. Mega Dirty Birdie. Yeah. So I like to take Scotch-Brite and clean this up. Now, the right way to do this is to have a granite slab, flat, with a piece of like sandpaper on it, and work it around, you know? And that way it stays super flat. I just like to have shiny metal. This is just basically coarse Scotch-Brite on a roll-off wheel. Also do the top too. I may put this on the Bridgeport, so that may be irrelevant, but still. There's some roughness here. Any debris in here that's loose, you obviously want to get rid of it. Loose paint even. Adirondacks made it. Great. 10 people. Chinese 365 low compression piston cylinder look fine. Check the squish, Mega Dirty. Clean this off with some brake cleaner. So I like cleaning the bearing surface there and the sealing surface with a wire wheel on my Dremel first, which I've already done. And brake cleaner basically on all the surfaces, that way it's degreased. I've seen a squish of like 60 thousandths on some of those Chinese saws, so keep an eye on that. Bearings. Last I checked, I had 2 Natchies, and as it turns out, I do. Might be a stuck ring, yeah. Or just, you know, you could throw in a Meteor piston, and that might help considerable. These are Natchi bearings. They happen to be double sealed, but you just pull the seals out. That's not hard at all. Now the bearing's good to go. And I do like, you can do this warm, you can do this cold, up to you. A little bit of anti-seize here. Helps the bearing kind of slide in if you're doing this cold. If the bearing drops in, you've got a problem. You don't want it to drop in. You want to have to press it in. Just get it lined up. Lots of different ways to do this. I'm going to do this cold. I've just got some 1/2-inch threaded rod here with some washers. And make sure it's as lined up as you can. You can heat this up and drop it in too. I find that if I heat it up, and sometimes they drop right in. Other days I lose my heat differential, and then you're doing this anyway. So at least by doing it this way, there's no heat involved and there's no danger. You can't burn yourself if there's no heat. See? If it looks like it's slightly sideways, just undo it. Just give it a tap just on the outer race, right here. All that it needs just to straighten it out, and put her back in. Done this 1,000 times on the channel. I've never seen anybody else do it like this. You can do this in a press too. Again, this is literally a cheap piece of 1/2-inch threaded rod with nuts and washers. You have to have a good assortment of nuts and at least washers, but yeah. Now you can feel it. It just goes in like butter. That's it. It stops. Undo it. There's your bearing. Yes, these are the dirty cases I pulled apart. You wouldn't believe what, cleaning up does. I can. Yeah, I mean, you can do it. This is cold. You can heat it up and drop the bearing in too. That's another way to do it. You can do this in the arbor press if you have one. I don't. So, there's lots of different ways to do it, but this is the way that I choose to do this. Right. Good. Back to that. Put this to the side for the moment. I forgot to clean the top on this, so let's do that. I like having bare metal because this is awful thin right here for a seal. So you want to have bare metal. Brake cleaner. Get rid of the debris here. Mega Dirty, do you use a piece of threaded rod just like this? I think it's super simple. It's super cheap. It's very effective. Can't get hurt. You know. The only issue is if you make the bearing wonky one direction or another, just make sure it's aligned, you know. What are the next full builds? Well, this is a 394 right here. So I just texted with Dustin. He actually has a cylinder head for this, which I think will be better than the one I have. Lobotomies to go. Oh, jeez. All the reasons you stated. And it's cheap. Yeah, I like the cheap. Cheap is great if it's effective, you know. Cheap for the sake of cheap doesn't really work for me. You know what I mean? I like cheap. I just needs to be effective. Same deal here. Crank it down a little bit. Is it off? Yep, a little bit. Check and see. High spot over here. There we go. There we go. That's it. Okay. That goes back down there. This crank cleaned up pretty good, actually. Clean some of the crud off of it. Got most of it off. Just want to make sure this is quite clean before you stick it back in the saw, you know. Alright, this with a little bit of lube. Hey Steve. All's well here. How you doing? How's that for smooth, huh? Anybody here I didn't give a shout out to? How many of the Faust family are here tonight? Yeah, Bob, this is the cases, everything. For one of the saws anyway. 24. Howdy. Sounds good, Steve. All right, let's see if we can get this a little better as far as cleanliness goes. Don't think we'll need these. Yeah, there's no vertical play on it. Little horizontal play is okay, but there's no vertical play on it. And if you look at the cage, there's no cracks. It's a good crank. The way I usually do 394s, just put the PTO side down first. Again, if it goes in all the way, you've got a problem. You don't want it to go in all the way. I forget if this rod actually works or not. This is out of my scrap bin. Anybody that's interested in a set of tools, they can contact me. Rod goes down, then the sleeve, then the handle goes on, then a washer, and then your nut. And what we're doing is we're just pulling the crankshaft through the bearing or into the bearing. Or if you look at it the other way, you're putting the bearing on the crank. And you just start turning it down. This way your left hand is free to, well, do whatever you want with it. But most people grab the connecting rod. So you can guide this down. Hey, Gavin. So the tools for a set to do about 90% of the Huskies and Steels will run you $170 shipped. That's it. For the money, US dollars, yes. For the money, there is no better setup on the market than the kit that I provide. As far as completeness, universalness, all that stuff. You get essentially 4 rods, 2 sleeves, nuts, washers, 2 handles. It'll do nearly all the Huskies, nearly all the relevant Huskies and Steels that people are rebuilding these days. Convert to Chinese 365. Just put a 3. Yeah, Mega, put a 372 top end on it. Warranty. Things don't break. If things don't break, you don't need a warranty. If they don't wear out, they don't break. You don't need a warranty. I know guys that use them nearly every week, and I've act. Yeah, if you're in New Zealand, then it's I think it's another $40 US for shipping just to get it there. Okay, let's do some goop. I use 3 bonds 1184 for this, so does Walt. Or rather, Walt was the one that turned me on to this stuff. Been using this for a while now. What's truly incredible is if you actually go to, let's say I put this crankcase together and I go, oh crud, I did something wrong. This stuff is so good. It'll pull the case gasket in half. Mega, I'd have to look into it and see. I've shipped to New Zealand before, and it was like, and I know the rates have gone up. It was like $35 the last time I did it, but I think rates have gone up. I think it's like 40 now if I'm shipping directly to New Zealand. So I actually do the flywheel side first. This is just a procedural thing. Mostly because I want this to tack up first before that. What's the name of what? This is 1184. This is 3-bond 1184. I think it used to be 1194, and then they converted it to 1184 because they changed the formulation in some way, and I forget. I don't know why or whatever exactly happened. It used to be 1194, now it's 1184. It's basically Yamabond or Honda Bond is the same stuff. Most importantly, it is fuel and oil resistant. Now, if the case is flat enough, you don't necessarily need this stuff. You know what I mean? Your case gasket will seal just fine. You don't have to worry about it. Me personally, I like the extra insurance this provides. I just rotate the crank around a little bit, that way it gives me some room to work here. The top corners are very important. Yep, they all look good. So this has had a minute to tack up, so now I'm going to put, well, you can do all kinds of stuff, like you can do your Loctite. I'm not going to Loctite that bolt because the anterior bolt there is for the dog, and I'm going to have to remove the dog later anyway. Here's hoping I can find some case bolts. Yeah. Because I know I'll get case bolts around here. Oh. Here's a positioning pin. There's one. Here's the other. Now we need a gasket. These are actually aftermarket gaskets, but they work just fine. ready to rock here. Ready to go here. Nice thing about the 394 chassis is it sits flat. Going to use 1180. Remember, 1184 is not anaerobic. So there are some spots on vehicles that call for anaerobic sealer. So you have to be careful with that, David. So I saw a great video that somebody did on a Volvo, actually, and somebody used like RTV gray or whatever, and it ended up in all like the bearing journals and whatnot. Dummy that didn't check the threads on this crank. That would be me. Okay. So as long as I can get this on, it'll be fine. Still not quite. Great. looks any better. I can get it on, so that's good. This is what happens when you don't make sure your threads are all chased. You know? Let's go for one more quick run here and then we'll... Yeah, so that's good. Just need to have this blocked essentially. Almost all the way through. That'll do fine. Cranks are hard. Much cleaner looking. Okay. Try it again. And by the way, the 1184 is totally fine with sitting. So you can let it sit for 10 minutes like that, and that's absolutely fine. Which is one thing that I love about this particular setup, is that you can literally just go at your own pace. There's no, heating something up and cooling something down and waiting for things, because that is, frankly, a pain. Okay, large sleeve, sloppy on the flywheel side rod, because the flywheel side rod is actually smaller. And forgive me, I'm not paying attention to comments right this second, but I'll get to it. Let's see here. Yeah, that 288 sounds beautiful, doesn't it? Isn't that fun? The 288 and the 272 are definitely the best sounding saws I think I've ever made. It's kind of debatable between the two which one's better sounding. Take this just one extra step here. Just block the crank, and you can use your handle to turn this on just a little further. That's fine. The nuts on. Now I just need... Yeah, so you can do this completely at your own pace. Watch the crankcase halves move together. Again, all you're doing is you're pulling the crank through the bearing, or technically you're pushing the bearing onto the crank. Just depends on how you want to look at it. Make sure your positioning pins are in. Yeah, and if they're not, you're going to be in trouble. Okay, there you go. You don't want to make sure anything, and again, you can stop and check and just make sure everything's going together nice. Everything's nice and comfortable. You can use the handle, obviously, and just push this down until it stops. That's it. Now, since this is a little bit tight, I can just block this and undo this whole thing. There you are. Now we can put our case bolts in. If I have case bolts. Already Loctite on the other side, so we're good here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then there's one more in this long hole here. And then there's a shorty over here. Now remember, I'm not intending to impact these. Just get them down into position. So you use your calibrated arm next. Chili Expat, welcome. Okay, then we have this anterior bolt here. Don't lose the woodruff key. We have an anterior bolt here, which should be 60 millimeters. Roughly. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it on with a few washers because I want to simulate having the dog on there. Sorry guys, I don't know what happened. Hey Chris, yeah, this is one of the boat anchors. I'm sorry, I lost my other phone. I have no idea what was going on. So yeah, Chris, this is definitely one of the boat anchors. Believe it or not, this is cleaned up. So, this is definitely cleaned up. Alright, so again, when you're tapping, I just did however many minutes on this. When you're tapping these in, you want between 4 and 4.3 for millimeters for depth all the way around. It's not quite 4, but that's, as long as it's just beyond this lip here, you're good. But if you push it too far, then the rubber part of the seal, this part here, will start actually rubbing on the bearing, and you don't want to do that. Starts rubbing on the face of the bearing, and that is a no-no. Okay, where did my Coke can go? Am I missing it? You guys seeing it? Usually put them in here. There. Ah. Alright, start cleaning up. I know. Gotta clean up. Ah, here it is. Okay. Sorry, I lost my other phone here and I couldn't see whether we were trying to reconnect or whatever. If it don't work right, run over with the Timberjack log skidder. So I'll just watch comments here and make sure we're... If you guys lose me again or whatever, you can let me know. Again, piece of Coke can, it helps get over the lip. There. Take care, James. To the Faust family, take care, okay? Yeah, 518 on the outside of the seal. So this one I drive flush. No further. That drives it flush. Good. Just a piece of nylon I turned. Okay. Yeah, everybody, if you can pray for James, I would appreciate it. He is still having a rough go of it, and I'll just leave it there. Okay. Yeah. And, oh, by the way, I know that on OPE, they mentioned that Tree Monkey is having a rough go of it, too. If you would say a prayer for Scott, Tree Monkey, on OPE forum, that would be appreciated as well. So that's about as far as I'm going to take this for right now. Thanks, Mega. Okay, well, it's good. Yeah, what else do I want to do on this? It really depends on where we're going to take it. Oh, you know what I do want to do on this? There's a rubber bump. Actually, one of those jobs, ideally, you need like 2 people for. There you go. Right about now is usually where you find out that you put it on the wrong side or something stupid. But there you go. Are we back? Okay. All right. Frozen shoulder. Yeesh. Okay. Hard to do anything with that. If you cut a V in the edge of it, that's a good trick. Yeah. Yep, so this is missing the rubber piece there. Now, we had gone over this last time. Yeah, I've got one snap ring left that will actually fit. So these are 5/32, so I need 3/16 E-clips. Should go order them now, because yeah, so I like to use E-clips for this instead of the rubber thing, because the rubber thing disappears, and E-clip doesn't. Click. Ain't go anywhere. Let me tighten it up just a little bit. Click. Perfect. So that's not going anywhere, right? It's never going to rot. Not like the rubber anyway. So I need 3/16 E-clips. Apparently I'm now out. Order those. Yep, you can do that straight swap, Gavin, as far as I know. And this silly piece is a little worn. Of course, I still need to put that bolt in, but whatever. Put this on here just so we don't lose pieces, parts. I don't even know if I've got an oiler. I gotta go check and see if I have an oiler for this thing. Gavin, I'm sorry, I have not done an 070 kit yet. I'm more or less completely unfamiliar with those. So, the thing is, I have no need to do one. You know, I just, for me, a 394 is going to be plenty big for whatever I'm doing. Never going to haul an 090 out to do a job, you know. Swap the oil back up. Oh, no, makes a good boat anchor, yeah. Hey, Tim, how's it going? I don't think I have an oiler ready yet. I got to stick that in the ultrasonic. Yeah. tube should probably be fine. Whatever. Alright, I better go. I got stuff to do this evening, so I will chat with you guys later. I appreciate everybody hanging out. This is fun, bringing these old things back to life. Giving them a little new lease on life here. Good bookends, too. Just cooling off. Okay, good. Good idea. I gotta go cool off, too. It's a little warm in the basement, a little cooler upstairs. Gavin, Ken, Mega, Tim, Leonard, Bob, Chris. It's great seeing everybody. I have coming in tomorrow a top end for that 372 we're working on. So either tomorrow night, long day tomorrow, so I don't know if I'll go live tomorrow night, but either tomorrow or Friday for sure we'll go live and work on that. And I also have an HL supply order coming in, which is cool too, so we have that potentially going. So thanks everybody for hanging out, and we'll talk to everybody pretty soon, okay? Take care, guys. Be safe.